Hey guys, so the topic I chose to do was teenage anxiety due to school pressures. First off, raise your hand if you've had to deal with some form of anxiety because of school. Of those, how many of you know how to handle the situation properly when things get rough? When interviewing people over the age of 25, the majority stated that they felt that high school now is a lot harder than what it used to be. High school and the teen years are supposed to be fun and relaxed before becoming an adult. However, high school has increasingly gotten harder with new material being presented, and students don't know how to handle the stress since their parents didn't nearly have as much when they were younger. Now direct your attention to the video interviewing students about how they feel about stress and relate their stories to that of your own.
School, homework, soccer practice, chores, and more schoolwork. That's a lot for kids to juggle. Just ask them.
Well, do you guys feel overscheduled?
Yes.
I mean, I don't actually feel overscheduled. You can just tell that like we're probably all at the point where like borderline overscheduled.
Yeah, because
We still have free time, but like your free time is always full.
Yeah, a lot of my friends and I are on 2 baseball teams. Then we have to come home and do homework starting at like 6 or 7 sometimes, 7, and work all night.
I know that every single person back here has stayed up till at least 1 doing homework, like
We have so
one
much.
night this year at least.
More teenagers now have to deal with mental issues because of stress. The rate of teenage suicide has tripled over the last 60 years. About 28 teenagers a week die by suicide, meaning roughly 4 students a day. According to studies, a larger share of high school students said they attempted suicide in 2013 than in 1991. It is pretty well known that parents expect a lot out of their children, resulting in a lack of praise and lowering the teen's self-esteem. Students now are much too worried about earning the right college admission and making their way up the ladder than they are about their actual health. Teens tend to look up to name brands and wealthy people as idols. However, depression kicks in when they realize that achievement doesn't come easy, because to them, failing one test feels like the end of the world. Also, another issue is that teens tend to have little to no time to themselves. Excessive homework has been known to associate with high stress levels. Lack of sleep can also lead to anxiety attacks. Most students feel that they will be seen as incompetent if they ask for help, so instead the anxiety and emotions are bottled up until they break. The average high school student has about 6 hours of school, 3 hours of extracurricular activities, 5 hours of homework, and only about 7 hours of sleep, if they're lucky. Students show that teenagers should have at least 9 hours of sleep each night. Instead, they are waking up and attending school at a time when their brains are still in nighttime mode. No sleep means no motivation, downfall in grades, and possibly depression. Essentially, the future rests in the hands of present generations. Teens feel that they need a cramped schedule of AP classes and extracurricular activities in order to succeed because high positions in government and large corporations require people with time management skills. However, teenagers don't really know how to balance their work with time. There is always treatment for mental illnesses such as depression, bipolar illness, and anxiety. Certified psychologists are trained to help with any and every type of issue. Also, prescribed medications such as beta blockers are able to provide a sense of control and pace to a teen's life. It is important to get plenty of rest each night since teens tend to need as much if not more sleep as they did when they were younger. Now focus your attention to my PSA. Here are some ways anxiety can egg now. First, think about how these pictures on the corkboard have in common. Standardized tests add extra unnecessary stress. Students are to believe that how well they do on a single test would determine their future. Standardized tests are supposed to help schools evaluate the capabilities and academic nature of a student. However, they don't actually represent the students accurately since every student learns differently. Another way to end this is to reduce the amount of homework a student is allowed to have each night. This ensures that the student won't be going to bed exhausted, but instead eager to learn and study. This also increases the student's mental capability. It is known that a well-rested person is able to function and attain information better the following day instead of just constantly thinking about going back to sleep. All in all, students need to understand that it isn't the end of the world if they fail something. There is such a clear connection between students' stress and physical impacts, which is why it is so important to remember to relax and take things easy because these years are supposed to be fun and enjoyable. After receiving this information, think about how this quote affects you and the way schools operate. I personally believe that Albert Einstein said it best. Coming from someone who has personally felt all types of anxiety, I feel that there are so many ways that schools can reduce the amount of stress on their students. I feel that teenagers should be eager to learn about the world, but recently, school feels like a chore which you're all being forced to do every day. Thank you.